Hello, it's Rachel. Today I'm discussing Kung Fu Season 3, Episode 6. So, the episode started with us picking up with Nikki and Beau after the events of the previous episode. Nikki very briefly explains her situation of being involved with all this magical stuff, and that she's part of an assumed bloodline, and Beau seemingly takes it very well. And I thought this moment was really cute at the time it happened, if a little ridiculous with how easily he went along with what she was telling him. I mean, thinking back to season one, Henry bought into everything with the magical bloodlines pretty quickly as well. But I feel like she had more definitive proof to offer him than the vague explanation she gave Beau. Plus, Henry was like with her to see certain things, and Beau has not had that experience. Um, but let's put a pin in this development to get to the meat of the episode. So once Nikki and Beau part ways for the morning, Nikki meets up with Henry, Paling, and Ryan. And Henry tells them that he saw Jilan in this other realm during the exorcism. Paling and Nikki are both a bit frantic to get her out of there and start researching to see what might be a possible way to reach her. And they come to the conclusion that they can use the pendant that Zhao had used to revive Paling, and that will be able to let Nikki cross to this realm. And then Henry's powers from the compass will help bring Nikki back, given he was able to see Jilan. Now, clearly this plan is pretty hastily put together, and Henry gets pretty frustrated and passive-aggressive towards Nikki about it. Once she and Paling agree that they are ready, Henry storms off. And when Nikki asks him about this, he confesses that he's scared she won't come home safe. So if you've listened to the Season 4 Roswell, New Mexico reaction videos I did, you're familiar with my friend Yoda. There are a lot of shows that we both watch, and we happen to watch Kung Fu together this week. So I'm going to put up some messages that we sent each other in regard to this scene. So yeah, like Yona said, it was so patronizing for Henry to be treating Nikki this way. Like, dude, hello. You abandoned her and went AWOL for 4 months, but now you're oh so concerned for her safety? And him saying, I can't lose you, was like literally nauseating. Because he knows she's dating someone else. Like, you don't get to do these love confessions now that she has moved on. And then Nikki's response of being like, I still believe in us. I feel rabid. Like, I hate when writers force dynamics so much. Like, I felt like the breakup last season was stupid because it absolutely did not need to happen. And it really feels like the writers made that decision to manufacture drama because apparently all TV understands is the will they won't they dynamic, I guess. But I begrudgingly accepted that decision because I understood Henry's desire to reconnect with his dad's heritage. I understood that he was processing the fact that his dad literally died in his arms. And it makes sense why he would want distance to do that by himself before he was fully mentally there in his relationship with Nikki. But now that he's back, they're trying to skip the steps of Nikki and Henry rebuilding their trust and rebuilding what they had previously, and they're just trying to shove them back together because soulmates. And I'm tired. Also, Henry knows Nikki. Like, he knows how stubborn she is, he knows how determined she is, he knows that she will always, always, always help someone in need, no matter what that means for her. He should know she will still do this, even if he doesn't agree. So, if he doesn't agree, he's literally putting her in more danger than if he actually just helped when he didn't like the plan. But he's saying no because her safety, right? I can't. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But as I said, Nikki saying she believes in their power together or whatever is enough for Henry. And he agrees to help her and Paling after that. So they all get to the location where Paling reappeared. And Paling reads, I guess, Zhao's spell, and Nikki successfully reaches the realm where Shallan is. It doesn't take too long before she finds her, and the two of them end up trying to protect a spirit that the Harvester is looking for. So Nikki and Jalan actually come face to face with the Harvester, and the Harvester recognizes Nikki, even calling her by her name. But before Jalan and Nikki can figure out what that means, the Harvester reaps the soul that they had been trying to save. And Nikki and Jalan try to take the Harvester down, but then Henry manages to open, I don't know what to call it, the pendant. It like lit up, and it's like, oh, it's time to go back to my realm. So that's happening, and she has to decide if she's going to take down the Harvester for good or bring Jalan back, and she chooses to bring Jalan back. So, I mean, technically, we got the Paling and Jalan reunion scene, but it was very lackluster. Like, I'm sure there's lots of good material coming up of them repairing their relationship, but like, I was ready for crying. I was ready for them, like, running to each other to hug each other, but they just stared at each other in shock, and then the scene changed. Like, the shock is understandable, but I don't get anything else for the first time seeing each other after thinking the other was dead. Like, Jalan spent decades hating Paling, no plea for forgiveness, when she even sort of implied that she wanted to repair things to Nikki. Like, I need some good Paling and Jalan scenes, some good emotional scenes between them coming up in the near future, because this did not deliver what I wanted at all. While all of that is going on, though, Dennis's sister had reached out to him and Althea about finances at the Soom company. So, to be honest, I didn't care too much about this subplot, but I want to mention it for how things were resolved. So, as we all know, Dennis got disowned last season for standing up to his father about silently working with the man who had assaulted Althea. And with Althea and Dennis uncovering the individual who had been stealing the money, I started to get very nervous that the writers were doing this plot to have Dennis's parents accept him back into the family. And then Althea and Chloe had a talk where Chloe mentioned that their father had tried to reach back out to Dennis. So that seems to imply that things are indeed heading in that direction. Especially given Althea and Dennis's chat at the end of the episode, where she encourages him to help his sister as she's in over his head in his previous position. And it's just like, why is this the resolution? Why is the resolution not that Chloe should leave? Why are Chloe and Dennis bending over backwards to help their shitty, wealthy parents? Like, why is this narrative pushing, like, prioritizing your family if they're terrible? Like, can media please start normalizing people cutting off their parents when they don't respect them or have horrid morals? And, like, if you really want to do a plot of parents reconnecting with their kids, like, have the parent actually modify their behavior or opinions if they have harmful opinions. Like, stop putting everything on the child. Like, my God. Anyway, the episode then ends with the reveal that Beau is actually the Harvester. And as I say that out loud, know that I am refraining from screaming. So I'm gonna put up a few more messages from me and Yona. But this screenshot from before the season 3 premiere even aired, I literally fucking called this twist from the goddamn promo. I said, watch the new guy be evil, so it's an easy choice for Nikki to choose Henry again. And yep, that's exactly what fucking happens. It is so predictable. I am so tired of every show introducing a new love interest for the lead and making it oh so clear that they have no shot at being that character's endgame relationship. And then whenever the show is of the fantasy or crime or mystery genre like this, it is almost always because the new love interest is secretly evil or they're killed off. Hell, sometimes it's both. And I'm not saying predictability in and of itself is bad. Tropes are a thing for a reason. And for something to be predictable, that means the writing is intentional and there are hints that the audience can pick up on before the reveal. It's really satisfying when it's done well. But I'm sick of the lack of care for love triangles. Either make the new person stand an actual chance, or stop wasting my time. Like, I'm sick of seeing these twisted relationships where a character I love is manipulated and betrayed, and then most writers' rooms do not have the range to deal with the aftermath of that. I'm tired of seeing characters I love watch someone they've fallen for die just so they can get into a relationship with whoever the writer's favorite is. I'm so tired of how predictable most TV romances are, and how bad most writers' rooms are at writing romance. Like, good God. I can't do it. It's exhausting. Um, I'm honestly dreading the rest of the season after this. Like, I'm dreading seeing Henry and Nikki get back together. I'm dreading seeing Nikki find out about Beau. I'm kind of dreading to see what's going on with Dennis and Althea after their chat about how he should go back to his parents. I don't know. Pretty much the only storyline I'm actually eager to see how it plays out at this point is Jelena Paling and them mending their relationship. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on episode 6. As always, if anyone has any thoughts, please feel free to leave a comment, because clearly I have lots to say, and I could ramble more if anyone wanted to talk about it. And I'll catch you guys for episode 7 next week. Bye.